Wake up with the sunrise, laptop on the sand. Dreaming of a school drive, build it hand in hand. Some of us with the blueprint, wisdom in the flow. Keep it simple, keep it steady, let the people grow. We build a vibe, we build a tribe.
Getting better at it, Jeff.
You are getting good at it, man. It's excellent.
Well, Jeff, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered how top school communities drive traffic and grow their communities? What platforms they're using? What's their strategy? Well, I decided to find out. So this week I actually analyzed the current school communities that are at the top of the leaderboard for every major category in the school games, including health, money, tech, sports, relationships, music, all of them. And I found some clear patterns that are pretty cool. So these aren't hidden strategies or secrets. These are all platforms that we all have access to, and they're just using them in specific ways. And today I'm going to break down exactly what each of these community owners are doing, which platforms they're dominating on, how they price their communities, and how you can apply what they're doing, the strategies that they're doing, to your own communities. And so whether you're just starting out or you're already making money, this is going to actually give you a clear roadmap based on what's actually working for the best communities in your specific category. So I really enjoyed doing this kind of video and kind of the analysis. So if you like these kind of videos, be sure to comment below and let me know, and I'll do more of them. All right. So what's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Man, doing great. And this is like the perfect time, because this past week, as I had a chance to speak to a lot of, also some of our amazing clients, it always comes back to traffic, man. It always comes back to how do I get, eyeballs on what I'm doing. So it doesn't matter how great an offer you have. If no one's seeing it, you can't make sales. So I think the timing of this is like perfect. So I'm excited about this episode for sure.
Yeah. Any wins to share for yourself?
Well, I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff right now. So there's a couple little projects that are kind of undercover. So they'll be announced soon. So I'll just say keep peeled. Definitely, like and join our channel, because we've got some big stuff coming up. So we'll just leave it at that. Kind of just a little open loop for all those NLPers out there. Just open loop. There's some good stuff coming.
Yeah, so we pooped the bed at the Cornhole Championship. So we lost our second game, so we got knocked out. So that was disappointing, but I did win the Go High Level Gold Level SaaSpreneur Award, which is pretty cool. So they'll be joining my Skool Games trophy up there soon. So I'm excited about that one. So let's talk about the Go High Level and Skool community updates. This week with Skool, basically they released tiers last week, which was a huge, feature to release, a lot of moving parts. And so this week they were just kind of fixing all the bugs and everything. They were, a lot of people were writing in and finding bugs and just kind of smoothing out the whole user experience. They did announce on Skool Games that analytics is coming out. They're going to be releasing in November, like mid-November, but it's going to come out in 2 parts. I'm really excited about the Skool analytics thing. I think it's going to help us to be really clear on, actually what kind of return on ad spend we're getting for our ads. I think that's going to be cool. Also kind of reveal where most of our traffic's coming out from. I have a good idea, but I'm also hoping that it gets really granular with like which YouTube videos are actually driving you traffic and everything. So anything that stood out to you in the Skool updates or?
No, I mean, I liked, this week they spoke about kind of how people are using tiers, and obviously we have a really good way that we did tiers. So I think it was good to see that, we're kind of on track with like best practices, which, we typically are, but it was good to see that we're on track on that. So, but yeah, I'm excited, really excited about the analytics as well. It makes sense to me, because when we first saw the analytics, like what they were offering, I'm like, man, that's a big amount of data that they're going to be sharing with us. So I see why they're doing it over 2 releases. So either way, man, once again, Skool just showing that they're always trying to just bring the best features and the ones that are most impactful to your business. And once again, they're doing it. So excited to see, obviously, just what they do with analytics, because the previews looking pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're hyping it up like saying it's the best analytics that any company's ever going to have. So I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully that comes out sooner rather than later. High level communities, they did an update on their mobile app. It's faster, it's cleaner, minimal crashes. So nothing major there. Again, Skool's just, just really leading the pack, and I don't know if high level is ever going to catch up. So that's that. Now let's talk about what happened this past week in Community Builders Elite. What's going on with our community there. So this week, our members of our boot camp were putting the finishing touches on their community funnel. This is basically how they're integrating their communities with the CRM and the marketing automation tools to create that funnel that when new members come in, they create engagement, they generate engagement, but also helps them to convert those free members into paid customers. And so if you missed last week's episode, we dug in really deep on that topic. So be sure to watch that episode if you missed it. And this week we just spent most of the time just kind of troubleshooting any issues that our members had and kind of solving any problems that they were having. So that's kind of what we did last week. Anything to add there, Jeff?
No, I mean, I think it's just, making sure that everybody is getting all their stuff, like the foundation's built really solid. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes it's better to, kind of measure twice, cut once, shall we say. So I think in this stage, I think it's important that people do take that time. And I think that's what we did. Like we gave people a little extra time to get, just really optimize, what that funnel is. I mean, everything's driven off the community funnel. So it's good that people are embracing it, but it's also, important to get it right. So I think that was like kind of critical for us to make sure that they were all like on track to a really great, community funnel, making sure it's on target. And it's just great to see them doing stuff, man. It's good to see that they're getting stuff done. Yeah.
And the biggest, this is the whole launch phase. We finished the launch phase with this week. A lot of people are running their webinars. They're running their first ads, which is exciting. So a lot of those results are starting to come in. So I'm excited to see how everybody gets along. And a lot of people are they've never done this before. So they're super exciting just to see people, like you said, pushing themselves beyond their comfort zones and getting stuff done. That's my favorite thing in the world to see. So next week, the fun starts happening. So this is when we're going to dive into organic content. So we've got a bunch of AI tools they're going to be installing into their business so that they can make content creation a lot faster and easier. We're also helping them install a content management system that's going to help them streamline that whole process. So super excited. And the big focus there is YouTube, because we like to start with long form piece of content. As you'll see today, one of the biggest channels for all of these people, for the most part, is YouTube. So you'll see how important this channel is. I believe it's one of the most important. Plus, if you start from long form, it's a lot easier to repurpose long form into other forms of content or their formats than it is to start with short form and try to do that. So super excited about that next week. It's always fun. Traffic's always fun. It's probably also the biggest challenge for most people. And so we are actually doing a free training in Community Builders Free tomorrow, where I'm going to show you our 3-step traffic system that's allowed me to add 1,000+ new members to our free community every single month, and also help us to grow our paid community to 18K MRR. So that is at 12 noon tomorrow. So be sure and join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern if you want to learn our traffic strategy. Also, what's pretty cool, I am officially the Skool IRL Atlanta mayor, along with another guy, Martin Sims. And this is the big the event where Goose is going around the world. Essentially, they're ending in Antarctica, and at each city they basically have an event, and then they recruit mayors to kind of manage that city from that point on. And so officially, I'm the Skool in IRL mayor. If you're in the Atlanta area, be sure to join the Skool IRL. It's so hard to say. Skool IRL Atlanta community. I dropped a link in the description so you can join that. And if you're in the Atlanta area on December 13th, we're planning on having an event. So more details on that to come, but pretty excited about that. Hopefully you'll come up and join us, Jeff.
I will. Yeah, that's the plan. So I definitely want to come hang out. I mean, hey, anytime I can hang out with the mayor, that's a good time. So 100%, man, I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. So let's dive into today's topic. Again, I like doing this. It really interests me to kind of go and like reverse engineer what people are doing. And so what we did let me share my screen here, is I basically went in and I went to Skoolers, I went to the games, and I broke down, I took the top person in each category, and then I basically reverse engineered what they're doing. So what kind of traffic strategies they're running, their pricing, whether they're doing the 2 community funnel, lots of different things. I just broke down everything that I could think of. And so we're going to share that with you today. And so I've actually created a document where I actually give you all of the results we'll be kind of going through today. I'm going to start building on this. Hopefully you guys like this content. If you do, again, drop a comment and I'll do more of this. But you can access this document inside of our free community. And this is a level 2 reward. So you got to engage if you want to get it. But this is going to be a badass resource if you're in any of these different categories. My plan is to kind of go through each category and break down all of the top guys in each category. So that's just going to be a cool resource because I'm going to do a lot of these videos. So just the TLDR, Jeff. So basically out of all the communities I analyzed, I thought this was super interesting. I'm going to get your take on it. Let me go back to our screen here. Out of all the communities that I analyzed, the top leaders in all the categories, none of those people were running paid ads. I thought that was pretty interesting. I figured at least 1 or 2 was. So they're all relying on organic traffic, which I thought was interesting. What's your take on that?
It surprises me, actually. I would definitely think because paid is usually faster. So I'm definitely surprised to hear that. But I know we'll get into it in a minute or two. But I think as we analyze why, it's an interesting, reason why that's probably the case in this. But I was definitely surprised. I would have thought for sure like they would have doubled down with paid, because I always felt like organic and paid work better collectively. Like when you're doing organic, but then you're doing paid, I always thought they work better together. So I'm interested. Obviously, we're going to dig into it, so we'll give away. But I would say that I was definitely surprised that there was not more paid traffic on the top people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them just had built-in audiences, and that's why. And then now they're just trying to monetize that audience by starting a Skool community. Several of them are brand new communities. I'll show you that in a second. So they already had the built-in audience. Now they just wanted a platform where they could start to monetize that audience. So they don't really need paid ads. The people that need paid ads most are the people that are just starting out, but those are also the people that probably don't have the budget to do that. And tomorrow we're going to show you some budget-friendly ad strategies if you want to check that out. So also YouTube and Instagram, as you'll see, were the 2 top traffic channels across the board. That's not super surprising to me. I mean, I kind of figured that for the most part. Those are probably 2 of the most powerful organic traffic channels right now. Any thoughts there?
No, I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, because, if you think about YouTube, it's obviously search based. So if you have a topic that is being searched and you have a big following, obviously the algorithm for YouTube is going to be pushing your videos up to, have more people see it. And then if they're doing a good call to action, driving them from the YouTube into their free communities or the communities, it just makes sense. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Instagram didn't either, simply because if you kind of look at the Meta platform, and obviously Instagram's a part of that, there's like 2 billion people on that platform. So between YouTube and Instagram / Meta, okay, Facebook, I mean, you're talking about probably 3 billion people on the planet that are somewhat affiliated with one of those 2 platforms. So the numbers just kind of make sense.
Yeah. So also the most successful communities are leveraging 2 to 3 platforms simultaneously, not just one. But these people are advanced content creators. I mean, you can, they've built in an audience. They've been doing this a while. So we always recommend just focusing on one, getting really good at it, and then you can expand. These people have probably been doing this for years, so they've just gotten really good at it. All right, really efficient at it. Also, price points on the community, they vary dramatically depending on the category, which makes total sense. The lowest being the hobby category at $19 a month. It's a community called FC26 Insiders, which I believe is a gaming community for a specific soccer game, FC26. So that's the lower end of the spectrum. And that makes total sense because it's a nice to have. It's not a I need to have it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then the highest being the money category, which again makes total sense. And it's marketing to millions. They charge $226 per month. and it's a wholesaling real estate community. So also that makes total sense that it's the most expensive because it has the most potential to make you more money. Okay, so that's all pretty obvious stuff. Couple of winners are using the two community model, where they have the free community and they drive people from the free community to the paid community. That's the wholesaling community. They've got 56,000 members in their free community, and they've got 648 in paid members at $226 a month. So do the math. We'll show you what that is in just a second. And then there's another guy, James Liu, who does SAT prep, and he has a free community of 13,600 people and 200 members in his paid community at $99 a month. And he's got a very interesting pricing strategy, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I know why he's doing it, but it's pretty interesting. So with that being said, let's actually go through this little breakdown one by one. And again, you can get this document inside of our free community. You got to be at level 3. This is a level 3 reward. So just get in there, start engaging, and you can unlock it. All right. So we'll start with the help. I basically broke this down by the people that were making the most total MRR. Okay. So these are the people that have built up the most total MRR. So that's how I kind of ranked these. And so you've got the total MRR, which is the amount that they're making total every month. And then you have the new MRR, which is the amount of monthly recurring revenue that they've generated this quarter. And that's what gets them into the Skool Games rankings. Okay. So the first one here is a little bit surprising to me. But you know, he's been around for a while. He's kind of an OG. And so he's built up that MRR over time. But this guy's cranking. He's in the health niche. He's got really good content. His two channels, his main channel is Instagram and TikTok. So short form video is big for him on these two channels. And then his third channel is YouTube. And that's the one I really dug in and did the analysis. So let me kind of open that up for a second. He does both short form and long form on YouTube. So a lot of people always wonder, should I do short form on YouTube? Out of all the people that I analyzed, all of them that are doing YouTube are also doing shorts. So I thought that was interesting. So combining those two strategies does not hurt your YouTube channel, apparently, like I've heard. Now, when I went to his videos, what I found that there was a lot of, if we go to his most popular videos, good looking guy, you know, and he's really smart the way he kind of talks about, you know, it's very scientific type stuff. You can see a lot of his thumbnails are before and after thumbnails, like almost all of them. So that's a pattern that I saw just from his video. So if you're in the health niche, kind of take this kind of stuff and use it, model it. Don't copy it, but model it. And then also you can see a lot of the titles are how-to type titles. So that's the big takeaway for me. This is a plugin called vidIQ that shows you the outliers of his videos. So the videos that got the most views versus all the other videos on his channel. And you can see there's some definite patterns here, Jeff. Anything to add there?
No, I mean, I think that what I'm intrigued by when I look at this is, like, if you think about the fact he's saying how to, because I don't know about you, but I don't know why, but when I Google, guess what I do? I always say how to blank. So if you look at all these outliers, the first two ones are how to. So this idea of the before and after and using the how to is interesting to me. And it's kind of what jumps out at me, because I guess in a way that's kind of how I Google. So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, when somebody Googles or is searching on YouTube, why he might be popping up on top of the fact he obviously has a big channel, but he's actually playing right into the specific phrases like how to do X. And if you go into Google and you type in, you know, how do I, whatever, make more money, or how do I, you know, look younger, whatever it might be, he's obviously knows that that's working for the algorithm. So
yeah. Oh man. And you look at this, I just noticed this, but most of his videos are basically how to look more attractive, right? So good looking guy. And he's kind of shows his before and after. And then he shows you all the ways that you can kind of, basically a lot of it's around making your face look better. So yeah, no wonder he's really talking to it. He knows his audience. They want to look better. They want to get more ladies, that kind of thing. So also in all of his videos, YouTube videos, he links to his paid community in his description. So that is Oscar. Okay, so I'll move on. Now let's talk about the next person on the list, which was the tech category. Usually the tech and money categories are the people that are making the most money in the Skool games each month. So this guy is Rory Sefton Mins or something like that. So he has a community, 731 members, $97 per month, and basically helping you create videos with AI. All right. So if I go to his main channel is Instagram. And basically, if you look at his videos, you'll see that all of his videos are kind of him commenting on, commenting or doing some commentary on different AI videos. And that's kind of his thing. And then you can see he also uses the mini chat comment automation, where when you comment, he says, hey, comment keyword, and I'll send over, a lead magnet or a training or whatever. So you comment, mini chat automatically sends the follow-up that you set up. And that's a really common strategy among Skool games or Skool communities to drive traffic to their community. So they create either some kind of reel, or they create just a short 8-second video with text overlaid, and then they say comment a keyword, and then that triggers an automation that sends them the link to the community, and where you can access the actual lead magnet that they're promoting. You can also see that he has this yellow text overlay on all his little thumbnails that really pop out in the feed. So this is his core channel. This is pretty much the only thing that he's driving people to. And then you can see the link in bio is driving to the Skool community. So that's the tech one. Anything to add on that, Jeff? You mentioned?
Yeah, well, I would just say that, for those of you out there that are solopreneurs, just the idea of automating that process, like on Instagram with ManyChat, I mean, it's a great way to basically save yourself time, use automations, use technology to your benefit. So he can focus a lot of his time and energy on basically creating the content, and then he lets AI kind of take over to help kind of drive them into the community or towards the community. So again, for those of you that are solopreneurs, I think that's just an awesome strategy to leverage your skill, which is on camera, and then let AI or a software basically leverage the tech side of it to basically grow. So just a great approach. Obviously works really, really well. And I love how he uses that yellow, because it does stand out and it makes you basically stop in the feed. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do, is grab eyeballs, right? So obviously he's doing really well. So
yeah, another thing that kind of jumps out at me here is he joined Skool back beginning of July, maybe end of June, beginning of July. Didn't do much activity till late August or mid-August. So my guess is he probably started his community around here, and then since then he's been pretty active. Right, missed a couple of days here and there, but that means he does at least 10 activities every day. So my guess is that's when he started the community. So a newer community, but a huge audience on Instagram. And so that's how he basically started that community to monetize that traffic that he already had and that audience they already had. So that is Rourke. All right. So the next person is the money category. It's Zach Ginn. He basically runs a real estate wholesaling business with his dad. I think Rick is his name. And so their paid community is Marketing to Millions. They've got 648 members at $226 per month. Let's see, that is a total MRR of 42,100 and a new MRR of 42,100. So that makes me think that maybe they launched this month, right? Because their total MRR is the same as their new MRR. So my guess is they launched that this month. They've got a huge audience on Instagram. They've got a huge audience on YouTube, and didn't really see a pattern much on the Instagram page. If we go there, he's just doing a lot of different things, just face to camera, very raw phone videos for the most part. And then on YouTube, also they have the free community. So that's a big part of their strategy. This is a 2 community model. So they've got 56,000 members in their free community. My guess, they've been growing this for a while, and then they made an offer for a paid community this month. And then that's how they were able to get those 48 members in a month for that to make that 42,000 MRR. So that's probably what they did there. As far as YouTube, they've got a lot of shorts, and they are again doing shorts and longs. If we go to their videos, you can see, let me see my little notes here. The most views on their videos were, over 4 years ago. So they blew up their channel probably, 4 or 5 years ago. And so they've been riding that wave ever since. I don't know why it won't let me scroll down. It's pretty annoying. But let me see here. If we look at kind of let me see what I saw. So link, again, nothing really popping out at me here. Everything is focused on wholesaling though. This is the beauty of like niching down and getting really focused on your niche. So real estate is so money is the market, right? Or money or wealth. Real estate is the niche, and then wholesaling is a sub niche within that niche. So they've got really zeroed in on that niche. And I believe that that's why they've been so successful on YouTube, and also, just in general. I think, if you can really niche down and find what your thing is, and then you become the person in that niche, that will help you to grow. That's what we've done with community, I feel like. And that's helped us to grow a lot. So that's kind of it for that one. Anything to add there, Jeff?
Yeah, no, there's obviously when you look at the numbers like that, like you said, it looks like they just kind of just started. They might have moved from a different platform. They could have been on Kajabi, or they could have been on something different, and they moved recently. But kudos to them to come to a platform like Skool that's just amazing. But again, it comes back to this idea that they had an audience now for a period of time, and now they're turning that audience that they've earned for doing years of work into a way to make money now on the platform. So again, it just goes to show to start and keep it going. Yeah. And that's, I think, the main thing on all of them so far, is that they've been doing it for a while. So start and don't give up.
And then these guys are linking to their free community in their description. So most of the guys are linking to their paid communities because that's all they have. But these guys are doing what we do and linking to the free community, and then using that to help them to convert those people into their paid community. All right, so that's Zach Ginn and the wholesale people. So that's the money niche. Now let's talk about the spirituality niche. This guy's crushing it. So this is Brian Scott. He's got a community of 619 members at $57 a month. He's in the spirituality, manifestation, mindset kind of stuff. But he's crushing it. And the reason he's crushing that, because he's got a huge audience on YouTube and another decent sized audience on Instagram. But let's just focus on his YouTube channel for now. And again, are we seeing a pattern here? Is YouTube, I think we can see that YouTube is a major player when it comes to driving traffic to your school communities. So let me go here. So if we go to his videos, again, he's doing both short form and long form. I noticed that his best videos have to do with manifestation of wealth and bringing wealth and income into your life. So if I go down here and I find a few of these, let's see, like this one, for instance, the Millionaire's Mirror, a wealth activation experience. There's another one here, deep sleep meditation of 10x wealth multiplication. So a lot around manifestation around wealth. Okay. So it's still in that money niche, but also in the spirituality niche, which I think is important when you are doing some kind of spirituality. If you can relate it to one of the other major markets, like wealth, health, relationships, right? If you can use the kind of the more spiritual stuff and relate it to more tangible things, I think that seems to be a pretty good combination. Also, if we look at his older videos, his most popular ones, I mean, his most popular by far are the ones around guided meditation and everything. But I don't know how that's going to help you to make money that much. Okay. But those are his old videos. That's probably how he originally blew up his channel. But that's how he's crushing it. And he's generating over 28,000 per month. And his new MRR is 28,000 per month too. So again, and if we look at his chart here, he probably launched this community also in October. So this is a newer community. He's leveraging that traffic that he's already got, and now he's monetizing that with the community, which is a pattern we're kind of seeing here. All right, so that's the spirituality niche. Now let's move on to self-improvement. So this is a guy named James Liu. He has a SAT prep business. And so basically he teaches people that are about to take the SA prep or SAT to improve their scores, right? He is using the two community model. So he's got a free community of 13,600 people. And then he has a paid community of 200 members at $99 per month. All right. So he is generating a total of $17,000 per month, which is awesome. And then he generated a new MRR of 10,500. Okay. And the way he's doing that is both Instagram. This is his #1 channel. And then we also have YouTube, which we'll show you as well. So Instagram, basically what he does, he has a series of these reels that are, let me just open one up, and you can see it's basically solving a scary SAT math question in under 30 seconds. This is part 24. I found up to 60 something parts to this. So he's basically just taking these math problems and he's doing this little green screen thing and he's showing them how to solve this problem in like 20 something seconds. Also, you'll notice here he has the comment Desmos course, and I'll send you the free full Desmos course. So he's probably doing that mini chat automation. So they comment that, the automation follows up, and then he sends them into his community, his free community. Again, he's using that free community strategy here. So a great strategy. Then on YouTube, basically he's doing, again, shorts and longs. And if we look at he's just repurposing the same videos from Instagram. And if we look at his best videos, the ones that get the most views, they are these ultimate guides, basically. So this is a 2-hour video, almost 2-hour video. It's a 20x outlier, so 122,000 views. And that's basically a full guide on, I guess, Desmos, whatever that is. And then you can see his other one, the last SAT punctuation guide you will ever need. That's another big one for him. So these are these ultimate guides that he's creating. And so that is basically what he's doing. And he is linking to his free community in the description of his videos. Again, much like our strategy. And so he can't really tell. I mean, he's probably had this for a while because his new MRR is only 10K. Not only 10K, but it's 10K this month. Now, the strategy that I thought was super interesting, if we go to his paid community, you can see it's $99 a month. But if I click on that and I look at the annual, it's $394 billed annual. See, that goes all the way down to $32 a month. And can you guess why he's doing that, Jeff?
He's pushing that annual, baby.
Well, the reason he's doing that is because if you're prepping for the SAT, you probably only need it for a couple of months. So he knows he's going to have a lot of churn. So if he can get more than 3 months, which is probably around where his churn is, he's probably, kind of analyzed that or at least thought about that. If he can get more than 3 months, then he kind of beats the churn in a way. So he reduces his churn by doing that. And that's why he's packaged it up that way, because that's a dramatic discount from his monthly. And that's exactly why he's doing that. So thought that was pretty interesting. All right, so moving on to the sports niche, we've got Rodri Ovide. I'm probably butchering that. But Rodri here is a pickleball coach, apparently a big name in the industry. And he's got a community of 235 members at $61 per month. If we look at his total MRR versus his new MRR, it's about the same at 9,500. So my guess again is that he just launched this community. He has a pretty big following across multiple channels. Let's check out his Instagram here. And then we'll also check out his YouTube. His Instagram, basically his best videos, if we go to his reels, are just him, on the pickleball court giving instructions. You can see 1.8 million, 7.4 million, 974 million. So he's in his element. I think that's important. Another thing that people need to think about is like, what is the niche that you're in? And when you're delivering your content, are you in the correct element? Like I work from behind a computer. I'm a community builder. Behind a computer is probably my element, right? Now, if you're a fitness coach or something like that, and you're sitting behind a camera, not that that's a bad thing because that Oscar guy does a lot of that, but he's kind of talking about his face and things like that from what we saw. But if you are in the fitness niche, you probably need to be in the gym or working out somewhere, right? So think about, are you in your element when you're actually delivering your content? I think that's my big takeaway from this. Anything to add there, Jeff?
No, I mean, again, he's obviously him showing himself with a trophy. He must be well known in that. And again, it comes back to he's found a way to take his audience onto Skool to monetize, and looks like a fairly new thing. So a lot of people are realizing the secret of how powerful Skool can be to monetize. So obviously these guys are having some success, but I mean, he's got quite a few subscribers, and it looks like he's basically moved recently, like you said, right onto the platform. And so he's having some immediate success basically monetizing. So
yeah,
good for him.
Again, with YouTube, he's doing shorts and longs. He also has English and Spanish speaking videos. And you can see, some of his top videos. Let's see, let me just go to all his videos here, are in English. I noticed the two here that are his most popular are about mistakes that people are making. So I thought that was interesting. Also, one thing I noticed is if you look at all of his videos, these horizontal videos, most of these are 5 minutes or less. Maybe a few are a little bit over 5 minutes. So these are just real quick instructional videos. And that's kind of what he's doing. Most of his videos are in Spanish. I think that's Spanish. I believe that's Spanish, but yeah, so most of these are like short little tutorials teaching people how to do things. And then he's linking over to his paid community in his videos. So that is Rodrigo. That is the sports category. All right. So now let's talk about relationships. So this is Derek Jackson, and looks again like he probably just started this community. He has a really big following. Out of all the communities that we looked at, this guy has the biggest following. So he's got 581 members, $20 a month. Again, good looking guy. And he's basically talking to women about their relationships. So probably playing into his strengths there a little bit. So let's take a look at his traffic channels. He's got Facebook, 4.4 million. He's got Instagram, 1.7 million. And then his YouTube channel is 800,000. So for Facebook, he's using a combination of these colored backgrounds with just like these statements. You get a lot of comments, a lot of engagement. And then he's using that along with these reels where he's basically saying, he's talking to guys. Like it seems like on Facebook, he's kind of talking to guys about women. And then on YouTube, he's talking to women about men. So it's interesting how he's kind of mixing that up. And I think his community, if I'm not mistaken, is more geared to women. So imagine a place where women are overcoming heartbreak. So I think this is geared towards women. So if that is the case, it seems like his videos on YouTube are more geared towards women from what I'm seeing. So that was Facebook. Instagram, again, is these short form reels that have this title overlay. So if I open one of these, you can see he's kind of, I guess, in a way, talking to both of them. He's coaching men on how to treat women. And I'm sure women like seeing that kind of stuff. So that could also drive people to the community. So that is Instagram. And then And then we've got YouTube. Again, he's doing shorts and long form. Most of his videos are short form, vertical videos, and then he makes them, I guess, horizontal. I don't really understand what he's doing here, but a lot of his videos are short form videos. So he's more focused on the short form video. And then he does have a few long form too, but you can see he films in vertical for most of these, except for that one. So again, you can see in these videos that he's kind of talking to make you miss him. That's his biggest one right there that I can see just on the front page. Another one is let's see, there was a big one here. 4 reasons he suddenly went cold on you. So it's like giving advice on women about men, right? So that is basically his strategy. And again, he is, I think he's linking to his paid community in his description. So that is relationship. And now let's talk about music. We've got Richard Den, but what Richard is doing is he is partnered with a guy named Dave Simpson, who is the actual pro with the audience. And my assumption is that Richard is kind of the growth partner, kind of helping him manage the community while Dave is the talent. Okay. So they have a paid community of 195 members at $35 a month. Again, this is the music niche. So not a I have to have, it's a nice to have. And so it's on the lower end of the spectrum as far as cost. Also, the relationship was on the lower end. He could probably charge more. It seems like he just launched it. So I'm guessing he's going to slowly charge more over time. Or he might just stick with it. He's got such a big audience. He could do a big volume game and probably make a lot of money. So since this is the music niche on the lower end of the spectrum, let's see, he's generating around the same total MRR versus the new MRR. If we take a look at his activity patterns, he probably just launched this community as well. It's got a pretty good following on YouTube and also on Instagram. So again, he links to his Skool in his description. He's doing short and long form. He does tutorials. He does just him jamming. And then he also does equipment reviews. His most views on his YouTube channel are his guitar review videos. So if we go to his channel here and I just kind of scroll through here, if it will let me, I don't know, I won't show that bar. If we scroll through here and we look, my top 10 guitars, 18,000 views. This is what a $109 guitar can do. Let's see. There was another one down here somewhere. Anyway, I can't find it. But basically, whenever he does videos about like equipment, he seems to do, those are his best videos. And again, he's linking back to his paid community in his description, and he's also doing short form video where he just kind of rips it, shreds, and drives back people to his community. And then the same thing on his Instagram. He's just kind of him playing, kind of shredding, and then he's got his link to his bio, and his link to his bio is actually linking to his YouTube channel. So that's an interesting strategy there. And he's also linking to his Skool community. So that is music. And our last category is hobby. So hobbies, the person that are the people that are generating the least money, totally makes sense because again, it's a nice to have. It's not a need to have. And so he has generated total MRR of 4,200 and his new MRR is 3,600. That's probably a newer community. Yeah. Newer community, probably started like this quarter. And his pricing is $19 a month. It's a gaming community about a very specific game. And I've seen this kind of trend in the gaming industry is just focusing on one game. And there's a lot of people use like YouTube for that. And my guess is he probably has like a Twitch channel too. I didn't dig into that. But his YouTube has, it links to the Skool community in the description. He has shorts and longs. And it's really just him doing gameplay of this particular video game and showing just tricks and strategies and tactics and things like that. Now, his biggest videos are these ones where he says, basically, I couldn't do this thing and I fixed it. There's lots of examples of this. Still can't dribble on F26, fix this. And then there's another one down here. Can't defend on F26, FC26, just fix this. So those are his kind of best videos. And again, he links back to his community in the description. And that's basically the rundown. Anything to add there, Jeff? Anything interesting that popped out for you?
Well, I think the one thing is that the one thing we don't know is it's taking all that all that data coming in is, are the majority of new people coming into the group from YouTube or from Instagram. So even though Instagram might be their biggest channel from a standpoint of size, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the traffic is coming from there. I think the point that I think is really important is that they're using 2 to 3 channels, and from those channels, it's creating some success. So again, it's the idea of taking potentially YouTube, which I would lean towards probably being the bigger success moving from YouTube into a Skool, and then repurposing. And I think that that's kind of, again, what we ultimately do, but I think it works probably really well. But as you analyze that data, it's an amazing, all the data is there. But again, it comes back to this idea that, which the Skool analytics should fix, is where is the traffic actually coming from? And I would love if we, obviously to chat with these guys and find out where does the majority of the traffic come. So even though you might have a massive Instagram channel, maybe the bulk of it comes from Skool, from YouTube, or maybe you have a massive YouTube, but you're getting it from Skool. So, Instagram. So those are the kind of things we don't know. But what we do know is to have a couple channels, preferably 2 to 3, and just constantly putting content out. They've been doing it for a long time. So again, success over the long haul. And those are kind of those big things I consistently see with these guys that are winning, is that they're putting out consistent content.
Yeah, and I think there was a few people that I didn't point out that are also in their Instagram linking back to YouTube. And I like that strategy because I would say if you probably look at these people's stats on which ones actually convert into their paid community, YouTube would be the leader there. Now, they both might drive more traffic, but the thing with YouTube is people are spending more time with you. Like on short form on Instagram, I'm not great on Instagram, but I think it's like maybe 2 minutes now. But that's a short time period to build know, like, and trust. And so, yeah, I can watch a bunch of short form, or I can go watch one really long one, and I'm going to feel more connected to that person. I believe the trust and authority will build faster. And so I bet if you looked at the stats, the people that are using both YouTube and Instagram, I would probably venture, whatever the word is, that more conversions are coming from YouTube. So just a thought there, because again, they're spending more time with you. You're building that know, like, and trust a lot easier. So.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other piece of that too, is all of them have been doing this for a while. So the question, that I would ask is, how long has somebody been following somebody on Instagram? Maybe they've followed for 2 or 3 years, so that as soon as they launch that way to make, way for them to make money on Skool, if you've been following someone for 2 or 3 years, that trust is probably really there. Sure. So they might be, so these are the kind of data that we won't know, right? How long has somebody been following them? How long has somebody been engaging their content? I know there's a few people that, as soon as they put stuff out, I instantly watch it. And, these are people I've been watching for, a couple of years now, just because they've been around for a while. And so, we have to kind of look at that data and say, okay, here are people who have Instagram channels. They have for 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. They've grown it to 400,000 or 500,000 people. And, maybe they are going directly from Instagram straight to Skool, and that's fine because they've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. They've had a lot of people following it. But I would venture as well with you to say that at the end of the day, a YouTube channel, especially if you're starting out, is probably the best channel, simply because that's where they can spend more time with you, get a chance to really know who you are, and then linking that directly to Skool, ultimately, I think will give newer people a bigger chance or better chance for them to move them from socials into a Skool group, free or paid.
Yeah, cool. A couple of questions here. I got to run to the gym, but one guy asks, are most of them running a free group to paid community model? No, I think there was only 2 people that were running the free to the paid. But the big thing with that is I always say that if you have a huge audience, if you have a big audience, you can go ahead and start a paid community because you've already established an audience where you've built that know, like, and trust with those people, and those people are more likely to buy. If you don't have an audience and you're going cold, trying to get people to buy from you off the bat is really difficult to do. So that's kind of my point there. And then what do you think about a community feature on YouTube versus Skool? I feel like YouTube is a traffic channel. If you can use the community feature on YouTube to drive traffic to your Skool community where you actually own the audience, and you can build an audience on a platform you own, then that is going to be better. Again, YouTube traffic, Skool conversion, and monetization. All right, and then the last one here is how to track the traffic to Skool comes from. How to track the traffic to Skool comes from. Well, that is coming up in a couple of weeks. Skool is going to be releasing their analytics feature, which I'm super excited about. It's supposed to be coming in mid-October, but they're going to release it over 2 weeks. So look out for that, and that's going to help you to track all that traffic. Now, if you guys are interested in learning more about traffic, we have a free training tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern inside of our free community builders free. I've dropped a link in the description so you can come, you can join it. And that is going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be sharing our three-step traffic system that allows us to add 1,000+ new members to our free Skool community every single month, and also has helped us to generate over 18,000 MRR in our paid community. And we did that in less than 10 months. So if you want to check that out, join our free community. It's at 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you there. Jeff, I got to run to the gym.
Yeah, man, keep going.
And we'll
love you,
talk
brother.
soon.
Yeah. Peace, guys.